Impeccable Ironheart issue number 5. House cleaning. The review begins at this time cue. For everyone else, all my 75 subscribers, this is what I want to say. Comments are disabled, and they will be until I watch Avengers Endgame. Sorry about that. And I promised you an Ironheart Who Is video, kind of overlapping her whole run since 2016. That's in the works. I was waiting for issues to come out because every one of the issues until this one had a flashback sequence or something about her past of Ironheart, Riri Williams. So I was waiting on it, but yeah, this one didn't. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I think time is done. I will publish and post it when Ironheart 6 comes out, when everyone's clicking Ironheart on YouTube, because I know how those search algorithms work, and I want them to work in my favor. The last part that I want to get out, I forgot. If it comes to me, I'll let y'all know. So, how was the book? It's been consistently good. Was this one any good? No, it sucked. Riri Williams is not a good fleshed out character. All lives matter. The book was actually really good. Again, it starts off in Chicago and it's like, they do a whole lot. By the end of it, you're like, wow, it was only 20 pages. It's crazy how much they cram into this comic book with them visual storytelling as well. So we're in Chicago, it's talking about, you know, we're seen as this and that. And if we want to play the bad guy, that's how we're going to play the bad guy. It's all like that. And then we finally get to the meat and potatoes. Last we seen Ironheart, Riri was on the freaking floor, knocked out by Midnight's Fire. Midnight's Fire won that battle. And she's here with an ice pack talking to Xavier. Xavier's getting heated, saying things to her. And it's because he cares. Like, she's not registering that. But he actually really thinks highly of her. And so she's talking about Deja Hamilton. And, you know, maybe we need to spy on her. And she gets a notification from Natalie. And he's like, oh, I guess you already were spying on her. So she's got this kind of, well, she already had that thing in the shoe that could hear or spy on her. It's also got some GPS on it. And it's nice that we're calling back to something that was introduced in issue 2. Our girl Ironheart, she's already getting moments to call back to, which is really good. I wrote notes. I didn't write them for nothing. So when she leaves Xavier to go off and find Deja and see what she's up to, he kind of goes, just call me if you need me. And I'm like, oh, is that going to be like a sidekick? Does he have potential for that? Is where I was left at. And I didn't think he would actually be needed. We'll get to that part at the end of the story, middle. So there was a line where she's following Deja and she turns invisible. And it's like, holy shit, that's what Miles Morales can do. And the SHIELD helicarrier can do that. And she says, you know, she says, I'm invisible. No one ever looks up, just like they say in comic books. What do you think of that? Is that too meta? You can't answer that question because comments are disabled. I might just undisable the comments by the time I watch the movie. So next we get this picture, which I'm going to show you. Cyclops was right. It makes it feel like it's a connected universe. When Riri is wearing the Captain Marvel t-shirt and everything is... By the way, when she had the Captain Marvel shirt, as you can see in the photo that's on the screen right now, she's also got her Ironheart gear here, and it's moving and it's changing. It's amazing how she can wear this. I'm just like, you know, this is some incredible armor. It's alien tech based off the Chitauri designs back in Infinity Countdown, the Champions tie-in, and it's like, this is cool. In my head now, that armor can go anywhere and everywhere. And not a single word was written by the author of the comic. It's all from the artist showing me stuff. Okay, so she goes, yo, this voice sounds familiar. And I couldn't figure it out. I mean, how many characters were we introduced to in this comic? But I didn't know who it was. She's listening until she hears them threaten violence on Deja. You know, we should have killed you when we had the chance. And then the epic entrance into the building. And what we see is a sweatshop or something to the liking of it. It was a bunch of young people kind of in a cafeteria, maybe like 6. You can see the photo of it right here. I can't show too many pictures, I shouldn't. But there's the picture, and you can see kids with scissors working on something. This politician is who that voice was, the one we were talking about. He's evil, and that goes without saying. He's a politician. I'm going to keep my politics out of it. I just don't believe in any. No one's the hero in politics, okay? So with that being said, he's talking about the kids and calling them thugs, and she hears enough of it. She's got like a goo cannon that comes out. And there were 3 names that she was going to go with. One of them was Iron Cannon, Iron Slime, or Magnet Blast. There is a poll, which I just spawned on the top left of the screen. It would be the top right if you're there. Vote for your favorite. I'm gonna vote for Magnet Blast because I don't want to be committed to Iron anymore. I think she'll be renamed as Diamond Heart or Vibranium Heart or something, getting out of Tony Stark's shadow eventually. We're gonna go to the next part. Midnight's Fire shows up in this battle. There is a fight scene, great action as always, and Ironheart gets on top of this one. She actually wins. The Midnight's Fire calls the politician just a tool in the service of destiny. He's just a pawn to him. Politician is just this little nothing, which is like, it's how I perceive the real world and the way politics work. I don't think every 4 years the most powerful guy in the world just has his power slipped through his fingers. I'm pretty sure there is a puppeteer, putting people in places who doesn't have to give away his power. That's how I see things, and this is I can relate to a whole lot about in this comic book. The way that I can relate to a lot in this comic book. So there's a point where the police show up, and then the artificial intelligence, Natalie, says, "Stop, Riri, don't say Birch." Birch would be the politician's name, because you don't know if one of these guys are under the payroll of the crooked politician. I watched that DMX movie, that one there. I know how it goes. You got to be careful. It's like, yeah, there's an artificial intelligence that was included, and it's like not forgotten for the sake of a joke, which something I hate. They know that it's anything that Ironheart is doing, there's an AI who's looking out for the best and will give it advice. And it happens many times in this comic book. It's not just forgotten. It's a lot of smart writing. So they get out of the situation. They have to explain it to Deja has to explain to the parents, come get your kids, pick them up. This is another part of the visual storytelling that I was mentioning. I have a habit of reading the words first before the pictures, and I'm slowly realizing that I'm probably going about it the wrong way. I read something about, hey, your parents said they're going to come at 3 o'clock. Yeah, 3 a.m., not 3 p.m. And I'm like, if I would have saw the picture, which I'm showing you on the screen right now, of the sun getting lower and lower, I probably could have figured that out. But you can see that a whole damn day passes. There's only about 6 kids left. And Ironheart calls Xavier. I thought he wasn't going to be used, and here he is with this ride. Come in, hey, there's only seats to fit this many. She's like, I guess I'm going to take 2 of the kids, and we're going to go flying together. And they have this special moment. Ironheart is a nice superhero, as well as like a vicious, a butt-kicking superhero. The artificial intelligence says we do not have a permit for this. This isn't us ignoring the AI for the sake of a joke. This is us putting the AI into the comic for the sake of a joke. It's the opposite, and which is something that I really like. Now we get to the house and learn on the news that Birch took the fall. She's talking with Xavier over text messaging. You heard what I said in Squirrel Girl's review from last week. I like when it's written that style in texting and Twitter in that case. It makes me feel like I'm not reading. But when I see a speech bubble, word bubbles that are comic books, and it's just like all over that Brian Michael Bendis stuff, even though I love the writer, that feels like work. This, throwing an emoji there, I love it. It's awesome. And meanwhile, Riri's having a conversation while talking to Xavier with Ronnie, and she says like they're all slimy, and that was funny because of the freaking slime double entendre. Yeah, so there was no issues with Riri taking money for like Spider-Gwen had in the Spider-Gwen for, I think it was last month or this most recent Spider-Gwen. She's going through with her dad explaining whether or not, this is the Spider-Gwen thing, of whether or not she should do her superheroing for money. If it's like getting cats out of the tree, yeah, pay me. But if it's like end of the world cataclysmic and the police call her, she won't accept money from the police. That's a major issue in one comic book. In here, it's just like, yeah, I sold a patent to my little shoe spyware thing, and here's the money for the rent. Like, that's Ironheart. She doesn't have a problem with that. I don't know. I think I would do. I'm in the middle of what Spider-Gwen would do and what Ironheart would do had I been a superhero. But they're also different types. One is actually she's the superpower. The other is just puts on a suit who's a normal person. So it's different. So we got a new location, a new hideout. It's not MIT. MIT and her, I think she's done with MIT. I'm pretty sure she's done with them. She don't need school anymore. F school. If you're a superhero and you go to school to know what your future is gonna be. So by all means, I mean, if you want to be a doctor or nurse, that's the path for you. And go ahead and do your thing. But if you're gonna be a superhero and you know you're gonna be that superhero who's gonna change lives, how much can that school teach you anymore? If they taught you anything when you were younger. So she's doing the right path. I know it doesn't sound good to say you drop out of school, but it's not for this is coming from a YouTuber, someone who wants to make $1 bazillion off of sitting down and talking to a camera. It's unconventional. It's never in the history of life been done, but that's the way I want to make my living in the future. I know I have a job now, but again, I'm just not a school guy. It's too conventional. I know the author of the book was a teacher in school, so she knows. To hear her say the opposite, no, she knows firsthand actually. So there it is. New location. She says, "Can anyone keep a secret?" And they're like, "Yeah, we kept the other place a secret." So these guys are her underlings, which is great. It makes her it elevates her to have not so much sidekicks, but to have people below her. It's kind of like wrestling. You have a guy who you want to get over as this top guy deal. The Brian Kendrick. Remember how he had my man Zeke? It made him feel special, and all of a sudden he was champion for like a half minute in that championship scramble match in 2009. You guys remember the one? So, yeah, I know everything about wrestling. I'm actually like a phenomenal pro wrestler myself. After you got to keep this a secret, her second rule is you can come here, it's a safe place, but no skipping school. And then a student raises their hand, yes, and the kid says, "I have a peanut allergy." She says, "Okay, rule number 3, no peanuts." I laughed. A little bit of time passes. It's established that this is their place. They're gonna be mentors. Her artificial intelligence, and I'm pretty sure Xavier was in there. Maybe he wasn't, but I think that was him playing chess. No, Xavier's not part of this hideout. Weird. But she tells Natalia, "Yo, take care of the kids, and then I'm gonna go to where? A family support group." She's gonna get taken care of the post-traumatic stress. You see, mommy says, "Yo, this is Riri." You heard of, so it's understood. Mom has come here for many times to talk about her husband. You heard about my husband? Riri also lost her best friend that day, and she's gonna get through this. I'm worried because of the Thanos thing. The Thanos flashbacks and memories. Oh, every time something traumatic happens. Okay, we'll take care of maybe her issues with gun violence and gunfire. Fine. But we need that Thanos post-traumatic stress. I need like a year from now when Thanos is on Earth. I'll get him. She goes there. She sees him. She freezes up. And then loses that. And just so we can build this up and maybe like Hulk. Because this story will take place in Champions. Hulk, Amadeus Cho, Braun is his name. Was be like, there was an EMP and all of her data froze, and that's why we had to go. It wasn't her, and they'll have to cover for her, and then she might have something in common with Braun, with Viv Vision. She's all about that Wi-Fi tech stuff. I need that story to play out. This was a great comic book. I love the fighting. I didn't get into because it's hard to explain fighting. You pay for the book and see it, but it's street level, but also super. Remember Matt Fraction's Arrow Hawkeye? It was street level. It was cool. This is actually both super and street level. Wicked. I will grade this comic book a 9 out of 10. And in the letters page, we get a little something. It's not the same 10 rings as the Iron Man 3 MCU version. This one is different, as they put it. And I just got a comment because I'm a YouTuber. And then the next thing in the letters page was Riri is 15 years old. I hate that they had to commit to that. But yeah, she's 15. Time moves slow in comic books. Peter Parker is like 25. That was the review for this comic book. If you have an account and you're watching me with one, hit the thumbs up button. It's free. More people will watch my reviews. If you haven't already subscribed to me, go be my 76th subscriber. What's stopping you? That being said, until Avengers Endgame, peace out.
Yeah.